Welcome to another Whiskey, Games, and Nerd Stuff. Today we don't actually have a whiskey, but I do have a replacement, and I'll explain why. And today's Nerd Stuff, we're actually going to talk about Absolute Batman, issue number 1. Now, my original intent was to look for some proper 12 whiskey that I one from Conor McGregor, who I thought that would be a perfect pairing for this particular Absolute Batman was that. But when I went to the bar, apparently I was out. So then I went ahead and looked to see what I had. I couldn't find anything that just kind of hit me that would go with this comic book. But then I saw that I had some of this beer, Rouge, on here, and I thought, oh, hey, that would kind of be a good little pairing. Batman's well known for his Rouge gallery, so why not go ahead and grab a beer called Rouge? This is Rouge Honey. Let's go ahead and pop this open. Take a little sip. That is really, really good. And before we get too far in this video, I just want to say, and I'll say it one time, there will be spoilers. We are going to go to the issue. If you've not read issue 1, what are you waiting for? Go out and get it, read it, and then come watch the video. At the time of filming this, issue 2 has been out a week, so I wanted to go ahead and do these quicker. I kind of got behind on the Ultimate Spider-Mans that I was doing because I didn't want to have any spoilers, but I realized when I started doing these, it was just several months after the fact, so I'm going to try and get these to where that's usually about one issue behind. And I kind of wanted to give my first thoughts on this. Right off the bat, this issue blew me away. This blew away my expectations. I think this is easily one of my top 5 comics of 2024. And it has, if not the best line in comics this year, it's going to be definitely easily the top 5. Ultimate Spider-Man, the new run, was my favorite comic book of the year. This is battling with it. There's a couple others that are in that top 5, but Ultimate Spider-Man and Absolute Batman are actually going to have to kind of fight this one out. But yeah, this far and away blew away my expectations. Scott Snyder and Nick Dragotta, hopefully I pronounced both of your names correctly. Awesome job. The writing on this was fantastic. The art in here is amazing. And I'm truly digging this noir edition. Or is it noir? I always pronounce that word wrong. So the issue starts off with Bruce Wayne at the zoo with his father because he had won an award and he got to go to the zoo. So it starts off with him in the zoo, and then it kind of picks off where you've got Alfred Pennyworth coming into Gotham. And this is a gruff, seasoned, veteran Alfred Pennyworth. And I've done a couple things on this one, but I still think this is one of the top lines in comics. He's kind of going on. He's talking about Gotham, and then he says, I don't think you're going to like me very much either. My name's Alfred Pennyworth, and I'm here to do some bad things. This needs to be a movie. This line needs to be a movie. It was flipping awesome. So he kind of comes into Gotham. He grabs some tea. You find him going into his armory. And then we find out that he's talking to some secret organization about the party animals, another player in Gotham, and he's sent to go out and observe. And there's this line in here that says, they ring and you serve, whether it's Singapore, Koreatown, and the ring and the serve is bolded. Now, I could be reading into this, but I feel like that's a hint at something to come. Now, of course, for DC comic fans, if you hear ring, you're thinking the Lantern's ring, right? I don't think it's going to go there, but this is going to come into play. I don't know how, I don't know when, but I think that ring and serve, that is going to come into play somewhere. And then it kind of leads into where Bruce is, somebody else was fighting the bag, then Bruce comes in, and he beats up the punching bag, and the sand comes out. And then it kind of goes into him knocking it down. Then a flash of back to the zoo with his father, who was also his teacher. and they're kind of having a conversation, and they talk about how they're going to go to the film later on tonight because that's where his mother and father met, was the film. And for those fans of Batman, we know that when they come out of the theater, that's when Bruce's parents get killed, and then we hear a gunshot, and then it cuts to Bruce breaking the bag. And what's kind of cool is in these next couple panels, you're seeing that he's friends with Killer Croc, with Oswald Cobblepot, the Penguin, with Eddie, which I'm assuming is the Riddler. If I recall correctly, and I could be wrong. And then Harvey Dent, and then Selina. So it looks like they were all friends. So remember, this is not the billionaire Bruce Wayne. This universe is a different universe, and this is a Bruce Wayne who's grown up, basically in Crime Alley. Then it switches to some conversations with the Maronis and Falcones, and this new player in the mix, and basically they end up killing off the heads, literally the heads of the family, which I kind of thought was cool. There's some cool things in there. Let's go ahead and take a sip. Then he kind of goes into, we have the flashback where it goes into not the flashback, but it flashes forward to where Mayor Gordon is at the city hall. They're talking about what's going on with the party animals, and there's an attack. And then lo and behold, we see the gunman coming in. We see Barbara Gordon kind of showing up. And then we see Batman pulling them in, closing the door. And he comes out and he says, "Whatever you hear, do not open the door." And that look, when I read this, I'm like, okay, this line is going to come back somewhere. This is a line where I think you'll see and hear a few times. Then, of course, he jumps down. You're seeing the bullets ricochet off his costume, and he comes in and just brutally kicks butt. This is an awesome Batman taking no prisoner, and you see Alfred Pennyworth, who's kind of talking through about, oh wow, you know what you're doing. You're fast, you're steady, you're focused, you've been trained. He kind of goes into all this stuff, and then he sees just the initial tactician that Bruce Wayne is, and he just comes in and makes this entrance. And of course, whoever is the government organization that was over this is telling Alfred to go ahead and engage now. And right now he's just observing. So let's go ahead and take a sip. Really am enjoying this. Then it goes into where Alfred has been following him around, talks about, he was a genius, he got hurt, he went and did schooling, and then it flashes back to when Bruce was young. His father hurries and rushes the kids into a bat enclosure to protect them from this mass shooter. And of course, the last thing that his father says to him is, "Bruce, whatever you do not open the door." And which is and it was a prelude to, the first one was a prelude to this, but I do think this is going to come up a lot. And then, of course, his father is killed, is what it's inferring anyway. Then he kind of goes in to talk more about Bruce younger. He traveled around. He, learned how to fight. He studied, chemistry, mathematics, psychology, theory, all that stuff, and became a civil engineer. And then we see that Bruce's mother is still alive. And he kind of talks about that. And this is where it kind of gets really cool, is Alfred sneaks up on Bruce he's in this abandoned sky tower, and Bruce, he pulls a shotgun on Batman. And, it's funny. He hurries and takes the shotgun, shoots him with the shotgun that he had taken earlier in the issue, but it was configured to be non-lethal. He drops the shotgun as to say, "Here, take it back." Steals his motorcycle, rides out the building, and basically says, "Hey, you're not the only one who follows people," and just jumps out in his motorcycle out of the skyscraper. And then on the last page, we see them talking about the Joker and how they introduced the Joker and how he's one of the 30 richest men in the world. And I missed this the first couple times. It says 5 years I tracked him while he studied with Henry Deckard in France. Then he killed the poor, SOB. He studied with the League of Assassins and then killed them. So this is a Joker that studied with Henry Deckard and with the League of Assassins. So this Joker is going to be, I think, a lot more... I have a feeling this one is going to be a lot more dangerous than the original one, which is saying a lot. I really like what they've done with this issue. This issue has excited me. I am really looking forward to this run, and would love to hear your comments and thoughts on Absolute Batman #1. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What did you like about it? Do appreciate everybody taking the time to watch these videos. Please like, subscribe, and all that fun stuff. Until next time, everybody, cheers.